Do you sometimes wonder what else is out there in the world? Are there books that tell stories beyond our everyday lives? In this video, we will tell you about 3 books that offer a different perspective on humanity and its potential. They expose a view of the world around us and our place in it in a new and different way. From the mysterious and enigmatic to the mind-blowing, these writings will open your eyes to possibilities you've never seen before. Stay till the end to explore these books and discover what they mean for humanity. The Devil's Bible. The Devil's Bible, or Codex Gigas, is a book that was read during the Middle Ages. In it, the devil offers man unconditional eternal life, but in return, he must surrender his soul and become his demonic slave. It is natural to think that this book is just a fantasy story from the Middle Ages, but in reality, the Devil's Bible is real. Its covers are made of very rare and expensive wood, lined with leather, and studded with metal ornaments. Its pages are made of donkey skin, and the entire book weighs an incredible 75 kilograms. According to legend, the book was so dangerous that it had to disappear. The author of the mystical book is unknown, but there is a known legend that it was Herman the Recluse, who lived in a monastery in the Czech Republic. He broke his monastic vow, for which he was condemned to be walled alive within the walls of the monastery. To avoid punishment, the monk vowed that in just one night he could create a book that would contain all human knowledge. Towards midnight, he realized that he would not be able to fulfill his promise, so he sold his soul to the devil, who finished the manuscript for him. As a sign of gratitude, the monk painted the devil on one of the pages of the Codex. Half of the texts in the book are from the Vulgate canonical translation of the Bible from the 4th century. The subjects of some texts, including grammar, rhetoric, knowledge of the universe, construction, warfare, shipbuilding, animals, plants, medicine, the hierarchy of saints and angels, and many others. Various medical texts by Hippocrates and other important people of their time, encyclopedic texts, a calendar, and various medical spells, such as for treating epilepsy, are found within its pages. Also, the book contains text on exorcism. Most of the Devil's Bible is written in Latin, but there are also texts in Hebrew, Greek, and Slavic. Many different illustrations occur, such as those of the Kingdom of Heaven. Strangely, there are no people present in the illustration of the kingdom. However, the most interesting is the image of the devil, 48 centimeters long. An interesting fact is that the pages around the picture of the devil are significantly darker than the rest. But that's not the most mysterious thing. There is not a single typo in the huge book. Studies of the handwriting show that it was written by one person, and the consistency of the ink remained the same from start to finish. There are no signs that the man was sick or changed in any way during that time. The handwriting is the same from beginning to end. The results of the ink analysis are amazing because it was made by insects then, and no 2 generations of insects are ever identical. The book was written really quickly. Also, about 10 pages are missing from the book. There is still no concrete explanation, but it is believed that they were removed by someone who was worried that they contained knowledge that was dangerous for the average person. There are suggestions that the pages were removed at a certain historical period because they contradicted the views of the time. There is also a theory that they were simply stolen by collectors. The book was believed to be cursed, and anyone who possessed the devilish writing was doomed to sadness and misfortune. In 1649, the manuscript ended up in the Royal Library in Stockholm, where it is kept to this day. Book of Miracles and Signs. Prodigiorum ac Ostentorum Chronicon. The fascinating Book of Wonders and Signs, also known by its English title, The Chronicle of Omens and Prophecies, was written by the French humanist Conrad Lycosthenes. It was published in Basel in 1557. It contains an extensive and detailed collection of all monsters, mysteries, occult beliefs, sightings of Halley's Comet, monstrous animals, and much more, ranging from Adam and Eve, ancient Greece, to the Middle Ages. It looks like an almanac full of strange human beliefs from ancient history to 1557, and contains many dark and fatalistic prophecies. which both in writing and content are very reminiscent of the contemporary prophet and astrologer Nostradamus. The chronicle also includes sea monsters, natural disasters, human deformities, comets, and even a UFO over Arabia. The latter is claimed by many to be most likely a comet seen in Arabia in 1479. The book is a huge encyclopedia written in the same style as the Book of Revelation. It is richly illustrated, with more than 1,500 woodcuts depicting everything listed. Many of the things described in the book are said to have been told by different travelers. But the real mystery of this manuscript is not the strange and mythical creatures, but the accuracy of the descriptions and images of those that really exist. Some of the drawings are creatures unknown to modern science. While it's tempting to dismiss them as travelers' fancies, there's also the possibility that they really did exist but are now gone. The most interesting drawing in the book is on page 31 and depicts the dodo bird, which does not exist today. The bird lived on the Mascarene Islands, Mauritius, Reunion, and Roderiques. The first trip there, however, for which there are written data, was made in 1598, or 40 years after the book was published. This fact raises many questions about the rest of the content in the book being considered non-existent and whether it is fiction or reality. The book is currently housed in the library of St. John's College, University of Cambridge, UK. Codex Seraphini. This book has never been translated. To this day, it remains printed, but unread. We can say that it was consumed only visually. It is a book full of riddles and is called Codex Seraphinianus. Written and illustrated by the Italian architect and industrial designer Luigi Serafini over a period of about 30 months from 1976 to 1978. It contains 360 pages that are an illustrated encyclopedia of an unknown and fictional world, written in an unknown language with an inexplicable alphabet. In 1978 in Milan, the publishing house Franco Maria Ricci received a package. When the publishing staff opened it, they found a large number of illustrated pages. These were drawings, very whimsical and strange. No one could read the text itself. The accompanying letter to the package explained that the author of the work, Luigi Serafini, had created a world encyclopedia based on the example of medieval scientific codes. Each page depicted in detail a certain object, action, or phenomenon. The remarks are written in an unknown language. The title Seraphinianus itself is an abbreviation of Strange and Extraordinary Representations of Animals and Plants and Hellish Incarnations of Normal Items from the Annals of Naturalist/Unnaturalist Luigi Serafini. One part of the work is dedicated to nature and science, including almost everything: flora, fauna, physics, mechanics. Another part to man, images of ordinary and extraordinary people, writing, food and clothing, architecture, games, and entertainment. Moreover, quite another covers the history of the alien writing system used in the codex itself. Some of the illustrations are clearly recognizable, while others are truly unique. Virtually all images are drawn in detail, clearly, with very rich detail. Serafini's imaginary cities are both strictly architectural and romantic. He has not left out the people of this intriguing alien world either, showing a range of colorful cultures, complete with traditional attire and the way they interact with their children. All the illustrations in the encyclopedia whimsically combine the modern with the ancient. The Codex Seraphinianus is so thorough that it deals with even the microscopic elements of the world. Several pages are devoted to what appear to be bacterial preparations. Other features elaborate tubes and flasks that can be used to distill chemicals. Probably inspired by his experience as a designer, Serafini shows the intriguing inventions of his imaginary people. One of them is something that looks like a helicopter. Other gadgets are almost like Rube Goldberg machines, consisting of several parts with an unknown purpose. The drawings are accompanied by explanations written in a fictional language somewhat reminiscent of Sanskrit. Serafini used to say that the language was not meant to be understood, but it nevertheless captured the imagination of cryptographers around the world. Most of the works have a dreamlike quality, mixing ordinary objects with impossible anatomy and bright colors. One of the depicted plants turns into a simple chair. and another illustrates what appears to be a simple street lamp emitting a glowing cloud. Another shows brightly colored clothes, some of which look more like huge flowers. The encyclopedia takes readers on a whirlwind tour of an alien world full of wonders and fairy tale scenes. One of the most interesting facts, however strange, is that Serafini describes the process of creating the encyclopedia as moments of out-of-body experience. He compares it to automatic writing, which is supposed to come either from an external source, usually said to be ghosts or spirits, or from the deep-seated unconscious of the writer. Considering how weird and amazing some of the illustrations are, it would not be a stretch to believe that. As such, the Codex Seraphinianus is a complete encyclopedia of a world that may have existed, exists, or will exist somewhere in the universe. Even today, enthusiasts continue to try to decipher the mysterious handwriting, and cultural commentators debate its meaning. Like some kind of cultural Rorschach test, the Codex can represent anything from the subconscious fear of the unknown to the chaos and disorder of the information age. These real-life books, full of content considered unreal, make us ask ourselves many questions. Most of all, do we not accept the world too narrowly? And what could we discover if we break the conservative thinking and go outside the generally accepted stereotypes? Did these people come into contact with something incomprehensible to us that allowed them a way of intercepting and transmitting information?
In the annals of biblical history, a figure draped in the cloak of mystery exists. Enoch, a man of ancient times whose very existence begets more questions than answers. Enoch, the seventh link in the chain stretching from Adam to Noah, emerges from the pages of the book of Genesis as a beacon of righteousness in a world overshadowed by wickedness. His life is veiled in profound divine significance, beckoned us to contemplate the celestial connection that set him apart. The book of Genesis weaves a tale of Enoch, a man who walked with God and graced his earthly realm for 365 years before an extraordinary occurrence occurred. This very event, etched in the pages of Genesis chapter 5 verse 24, stands as both captivating and bewildering. Enoch was no more, for God took him. The sacred script hints at Enoch's unparalleled fate, a departure that defies a conventional narrative or mortality. But why? Why was Enoch handpicked from this extraordinary odyssey? Watch till the end to unravel the enigma of Enoch, a trip that vows to test the boundaries of our comprehension when it comes to matters of faith, life, and destiny. Trust me, you want to take advantage of it. Enoch's story begins in the book of Genesis, where a detailed genealogy unfolds. He was born 622 years after the creation of the world, and his birth came after the days of Adam. His birthplace is Canaan, a region located in East Eden, and was the son of Jared and Baraka. Enoch's family tree is intricately linked to the early generations of humanity, traced back to Adam and Eve. While we can't say for sure if Enoch ever met Adam, the possibility exists that he learned about God and the Garden of Eden from the very lips of the first man. Initially, Adam and Eve attempted to raise their children in righteousness, inspired by their example of the righteous son Abel. However, as time passed, both the descendants of Cain and Seth deviated from this path. Cain's descendants became increasingly violent, materialistic, while Seth's descendants gradually embraced the negative influence of Cain's lineage. Despite being part of Seth's lineage, Enoch took a unique and remarkable path. He did not succumb to the materialistic and violent tendencies of his contemporaries. Instead, he walked with God, signifying a profound and intimate spiritual connection. While others were preoccupied with worldly pursuits, like constructing fortresses, satisfying their desires, and indulging in worldly pleasures, Enoch chose to walk in close communication with God. The exceptional life of Enoch serves as a powerful call to humanity. Even in a world where many may stray from the path of righteousness, Enoch's life demonstrates that it is possible to maintain a close and intimate relationship with God. In those ancient days, life was different. People lived for centuries, and the stories of God and the Garden of Eden were passed down through the generations. When Enoch reached 65, a pivotal event occurred in his life: the birth of his son, Methuselah. It triggered a transformation in Enoch. Perhaps witnessing the miracle of birth or feeling the weight of responsibility as a father drew him closer to God. Whatever the reason, Enoch's life took a new direction. Enoch's faith profoundly pleased God. His relationship with God was marked by dedication and obedience. Enoch lived a righteous life. His faith wasn't a mere adherence to rules and rituals, but a heartfelt connection with the Creator. Despite the moral decay surrounding him, Enoch's faith remained unshaken. Hebrews chapter 11, the Faith Hall of Fame, commands him as one who pleased God. It emphasized the inseparable link between religion and Enoch's extraordinary translation. By faith, Enoch was taken from his life so that he did not experience death. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5. Enoch's faith propelled him into a realm where mortality chains could not bind him. Enoch's extraordinary life took an even more remarkable turn when he reached 365. The Bible tells us Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more because God took him away. Genesis chapter 5, verse 24. Enoch's departure from this world was unlike anything humanity had witnessed before. While most people in his time experienced death, Enoch experienced something entirely different. He was no more. God, in His infinite wisdom and mercy, chose to spare Enoch from the grip of death. Instead, Enoch was taken away from his earthly realm and into the presence of God Himself. This mystery event raises many questions. How did Enoch's departure occur? What did he see and experience as he transitioned from his life to the next? These questions remain a mystery, as the Bible provides us with only a brief glimpse into the extraordinary event. But why was Enoch chosen for his unparalleled journey? Some believe Enoch's translation is a precursor to the prophesied rapture, where believers will be taken into heaven during the end times. Another perspective suggests Enoch's translation was a divine strategy to protect him from the impending flood. As the world descended into moral depravity, God chose to spare Enoch from the catastrophe that would reshape the world. Enoch's removal was not an escape, but a purposeful intervention in the face of an impending judgment. Enoch's life mirrors other faithful biblical figures, such as Elijah, who stood as a solitary prophet against many false prophets. As we journey deeper into the enigma of Enoch's life, we uncover the man himself and the profound legacy he left behind. Enoch's story is not confined to the pages of Genesis, but extends into ancient texts and sacred writings. One of the most intriguing aspects of Enoch's legacy is in the Book of Enoch. This ancient text, believed to have been composed in Hebrew or Aramaic and preserved in Ge'ez, has captivated scholars and believers alike for centuries. It is a collection of writings that offer insights into Enoch's experiences, visions, and encounters with heavenly beings. The book is a multifaceted work that spans various genres, including apocalyptic literature, ethical teachings, and prophetic visions. It presents Enoch as a figure entrusted with divine knowledge and the universe's secrets. Enoch is taken to heaven in this text, where he becomes the guardian of celestial treasures, the chief of archangels, and the immediate attendant on the throne of God. The Book of Enoch reveals a world beyond the earthly realm, where Enoch learns the secrets and mysteries of creation. He fulfills God's decrees and communications, his revelations with a host of angels by his side. Enoch's role as a mediator between heaven and earth is central to this narrative, reinforcing his significance in the eyes of believers. Detailed videos on the Book of Enoch can be found on our channel, as well as on our The Book of Enoch playlist. The Epistle of Jude in the New Testament directly references Enoch's prophetic words, drawing from the Book of Enoch. This connection between Jude and Enoch's prophecies played a significant role in accepting and using the Book of Enoch within early Christian circles. Enoch's themes of divine judgment, angels, and the corruption of humanity resonated with early Christians, especially those who embraced millennialism. However, as theological perspectives evolved within Christianity, the Book of Enoch gradually fell out of favor, particularly with the rise of amillennialism. It became a more marginalized text, limited primarily to Ethiopian circles of the Oriental Orthodox Church. Enoch's story also intersects with other traditions, such as the Latter-day Saint movement, particularly in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Here, Enoch is regarded as the founder of righteousness city named Zion, a place of purity amidst a wicked world. This perspective is found in the Pearl of Great Price and the Doctrine and Covenants, emphasizing Enoch's pivotal role in preserving Scripture and prophesying about Noah and the Great Flood. In Islam, Enoch is identified with Idris and considered a prophet. While the Quran does not provide an extensive account of Idris, Islamic tradition fills in some details about this revered figure. Like the biblical Enoch, Idris is depicted as a wise and righteous man who walked closely with God. Idris is mentioned in several places in the Quran, albeit briefly. His name is often associated with those who endured with patience and righteousness. This reference to Idris being raised to a high station mirrors the biblical narrative's idea of Enoch being taken to heaven. It highlights the special status and closeness to God attributed to both figures in their respective religious traditions. The Islamic tradition also expands on Idris' wise teacher role. He is believed to have brought knowledge and wisdom to his people, guided them in matters of faith and righteous living. Idris is often associated with developing various sciences and disciplines, including writing and astronomy. In this sense, he shares similarities with the Enoch of the Book of Enoch, who received divine revelations and insights into the mysteries of the universe. Enoch's legend extended far beyond his own time. His life and departed left an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those who heard his story. Enoch's faith, his walk with God, his unique release served as a testament to the reality of the spiritual realm and the existence of a loving and merciful Creator. Enoch's legacy continued through his great-grandson, Noah, who would play a pivotal role in the history of humanity. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Also watch our video on the Egyptian Book of the Dead, a captivating yet mysterious artifact from a civilization buried in the sands of time.